Well, it's a great day to be alive, and we welcome you back. And we have Greg Purcell on, and we're going into it. First, he has a shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll give him a second to share. A lot of Rocky Mount people are familiar with the Grays, but why don't you share what that represents?
This is huge. You know, I'm the art curator here on campus, and we have a new exhibit coming, and it's in association with the Buck Leonard Association. And of course, you know, Buck Leonard played 15 years for the Grays, and was the longest tenure. Had the longest tenure with one single team in the Negro Leagues in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And so this is just kind of a nod from me towards him to go with the exhibit. And it's the exhibit is opening on Thursday, so tomorrow night from 5 to 7 is the opening, and it'll run until November 3rd or 4th. And it's called Black Diamonds, and it's a portrait exhibit by Daryl Matthews, who is in North Carolina. He's out of North Carolina now, represented by Drinking Gourd Galleries out of Durham. So this is it's all black and white. It is a watercolor on cold pressed paper, which doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people I know, but it is a super cool exhibit. I finished hanging it yesterday, and I just really would love for you guys to come, and we can bring up the portrait of Buck Leonard that we have. So that's him taking a swing there. And of course, you know, he's from right here in Rocky Mount from 1907. He lived 90 years to 1997. Had a great life, and you know, had a great post career here in Rocky Mount with real estate and philanthropy and a whole lot of other stuff that he did. But this is an example of the watercolors and the type of work that you're going to see. And then I've got another one of Marciana Stone, and this is a woman. And now, you know, there's this great movie that Penny Marshall did about the All-American Women's Baseball League, which came about during World War II when the men went off, and so they brought up and created this women's league. This is a little different. To me, this is more special, and this is why, because when the men came back from World War II, the women's league kind of faded away.
That's right.
Right, which was unfortunate because that was a very cool thing.
Listen, and had great fan support.
It did. It had huge fan support.
Yeah, fan support.
And what have you. But this is, you know, she went by, she's known as Tony. She played alongside the men in 1947 in the Negro Leagues. She and two other women were playing side by side with the men in the Negro Leagues, and she was
just goes to show you.
Absolutely, you know, she can hang with them, all three of those ladies, and that's special into itself and historical. Historical, you know, and this exhibit is kind of to try and help educate a little bit as well, not just about baseball, but just about history of America. Stuff. So if you're a baseball lover, this is a fantastic exhibit to come see.
Well, here's the thing. There are so many wonderful, wonderful shows that are here. And the university, as we are now known, there's so much in art. The other day, I was asked, well, does Wesleyan University have an arts program? You know, and I said, you know, so there is interest. Now, why don't you, we'll get back to this.
Sure.
Why don't you tell us about how the art area has grown at the Dunn Center?
Well, you know, I've...
With the Gravely and all?
Sure. So we have two galleries. We have the men's gallery, which actually is under renovation.
And it's going to look great.
It is. I'm super excited about that. It's going to be renovated and really take a step forward and bring us big time up front with televisions and different things, and very modern in its layout, and it's going to be great for exhibits that we have planned down the future, which I'll bring up in a minute. But then we also have the Gravely Gallery, which had its ribbon cutting on June the 2nd, and is a nod towards local icon Janice Gravely,
yes,
who is a fantastic artist into herself, and just had a exhibit come down that was all of her work. We had about 40 pieces close.
It was nice
of her stuff, and we're still going to have about 15 or 20 pieces of hers alongside Daryl at the same time there. But we're really trying to grow and stretch. And in the Mims Gallery right now, we've got the Wilson Active Artists are up. They're out of Wilson, North Carolina, that particular group. And there's about 60 pieces up there, which many pieces are for sale. All of their pieces are for sale, actually. We've sold 3 or 4 already, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
And then we've got Daryl, who's opening tomorrow. Not for sale. His stuff is just as...
Is that going to be in the Mims Gallery?
No, Daryl is going to be in Gravely.
Okay.
He's going to be in Gravely. He is the first official show outside of Janice's solo show. So this is very exciting for us, and to have it be... baseball is big around here on campus. We've got a very successful baseball team. 3 national championships through the years. Every year they're in the playoffs. They do really, really well. So, and the baseball team, actually, I've reached out to them. They're gonna, they're supporting this full on.
That'd be a nice to have a presentation. How the baseball team present.
Yeah, I've spoke to Coach Clifton via email anyway. And he has given full-throated support to this, and is going to try and send some of his players out to see it. It's a cool exhibit. And then next year, in the entire gallery, both the Mims and the Gravely, we are of course going to have a North Carolina first and a largest global event ever.
Yeah,
and it's going to be it's going to be Bob Ross, who
largest ever. That's pretty
largest
long time.
Global event. We're going to have 88 pieces of Bob Ross, and it's the first time in the state of North Carolina. And everybody knows him from PBS, from his Joy of Painting, and now of course he's viral because of the internet, and all his shows were on Netflix and now on HBO or Amazon. I can't remember which streaming service has it now, but he's big on there. So he's got a following from 10 years old to 90 years old.
Yeah, a lot of TV will do that too.
It will. I've heard from the one press release we've done for that. I've heard from people from Florida and Ohio, all over North Carolina, that are very excited about him coming. And then of course this Friday, to bring it back local again on campus, not only do we have Daryl that's opening Thursday, but on Friday we have the Malpas brothers playing.
Oh, that's right.
In Minji's auditorium, which their tickets are selling very, very well. They've been here before.
And they are all around now. I was telling my wife, it's amazing at the places I see where they are advertised.
Yeah, they actually they played the Grand Ole Opry several times, and recently have done it, and they've already been booked for either the end of this year again or early on next year to play at the Grand Ole Opry again. So you're seeing, no tributes. This is real, just like Chubby Checker was the real deal a couple weeks ago.
I have heard so much rave about the show, and right here, and audience, if you are not participating in activities like these, are things that you have to go typically to the great art museums and the things like that, and go to Radio City Hall.
Absolutely.
I mean, and it's right here in Rocky Mount or Wilson. I mean, just drive in and it's just spectacular.
The artistic level that is in the Twin Counties,
is amazing.
We're so blessed, artistically speaking. Just in life generally, but artistically speaking, here in the Rocky Mountains, in the city and in the region, artistically, not just with public art, but stuff that's going on at the Imperial Center. They've got fantastic stuff out there with the community theater, and then their big, huge art. Their 3 or 4 galleries that they have there with all the stuff they do, and then with us here at the university, which is fun to say now, isn't it? University.
Yeah, sounds
so
good.
the university, there's art is so important, and I'm not saying that because I'm a curator, because yeah, I'm a curator, and so it's important to me. But just in general, art is so important, because when you're stressed out or your anxiety level is through the roof, go see art, because you know what that does? That lowers all of that stuff. Even just looking at, passively looking, which just going through and looking at 60 some odd paintings that are in the MIMS. It just kind of reduces your stress level. And I say that to the students all the time. You got exams or you got a big test coming up, take 20 minutes, take your study break, come over, look at the colors on the wall. You don't need to go deep into it, or what was the artist meeting there and what have you, but just to see the colors,
the creations,
and the creativity that is going on. It's a natural way to declutter your brain for a few minutes.
Well,
I look at it better in the long run.
I look at it like this: you could just circle around Wilson, Edgecombe, and Nash County, and for the rest of your life, you only go to the Boykin Center or the Keyhunt 9 or what line, or the Dunn Center or Imperial. I mean, you could see and stay busy for the rest of your life and not be disappointed.
No, not at all. Rocky Mount, between the Imperial Center and then with what we're starting to get into now with Bob Ross, and then
that's going to bring people
huge,
from all over the country.
And I was just talking with Sheila Martin yesterday, who is the executive director of the Dunn Center, about things that that we would like to see come, and just based on that conversation alone, I'm telling you guys, it's not just local stuff. The Imperial Center is bringing national exhibits for their juried art show, and we're starting to bring nationally known artists and stuff. You don't have to go to Raleigh. You don't have to go to Charlotte, to the Mint Museum or these other places to see, your Premier, your Picassos, your Van Goghs. I'm not saying that we're bringing that yet, but it's on the horizon to bring that kind of quality to North Carolina Wesleyan University.
Listen, I was a fraternity brother of mine who graduated in '73, and his wife who graduated, and they were driving through North Carolina and decided to come over and drive through campus, and then I saw the report. They said, I am simply amazed at the activities and what is going on. And she said, the wife said, at the university, I'll bet, because you look at the excitement of this past Saturday, and the excitement of the NCAA tournaments at the tennis end, and the Polborn bin, and the Shaw building, and the Dunn Center is spectacular.
Our little plot of 200 acres
is starting to fill up.
It's filling up, and it's constant activity, student excitement, and everything that's going on, and it's exciting. It's very special time to be affiliated with the university.
I think, and it's good for the community and area, and you were fortunate with Barton and Wesleyan and Nash and Edgecombe and Wilson.
And Barton has an art gallery, and they, that's another one. It's in Wilson, 20 minutes down the road.
We just need to be partnering with one another and make it work.
We are, that is something we would like to do.
Well, I think that would be a wholesome, have a weekend where you spend a half a day at Barton and a half a day at Wesleyan, and
have an art crawl.
Yeah.
They have pub crawls. Let's have an art crawl.
Yeah. Well, listen, Greg, why don't you again give the schedule of the activity?
Sure.
And then we're going to have to be leaving shortly.
Sure.
And but we appreciate the information, but re-invite the viewers and let us know what's happening.
Absolutely. Well, first, thanks so much for having me on. You guys are always so gracious when we have
that's Sandra
with the art openings to help get the word out, and then with Sheila coming on and promoting our season and what have you. But currently we have up the it's called Autumn Dews. It is the exhibit with the Wilson Active Artists, and that's in the on the south side of the building. That is in the Mims Gallery, and that is up until the end of October. And then we'll have another show that opens up in November, and then this show, this Daryl Matthews show, Black Diamonds, about the Negro League Baseball, with both men and women who played in it, and actually a really nice portrait of an umpire who not only did the Negro Leagues but did some of the Pacific League stuff in the minors as well. So it's a complete exhibit of baseball. So if you're a baseball lover, a great American pastime,
San Francisco Seals,
the St. Louis, I think it was the St. Louis Clowns, lot of the Newark
Philadelphia Athletics,
who are, of course, everybody knows them now as the Oakland Athletics, and what have you. So you can learn a lot about these players and their importance. All of them on exhibit now are in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And all 3,500 players that played in the Negro Leagues have officially been recognized by Major League Baseball as part of Major League Baseball, not separate, which is extremely important, as it should never have been separate anyway. But
that's history.
It is what it is. History.
Celebrate the history.
You live and you learn from your history, and you don't make those mistakes again, we hope.
Yeah.
But we've also, again, on Friday, we have the Malpas Brothers. Call the Dunn Center box office to get your tickets. There are still some available. And you can still get season tickets
for the rest
of the year.
Deal.
I mean, it was $125 for all the shows. And now, we've had Chubby already, who is a huge success, and the Malpas Brothers, who've been here before and have been on the Grand Ole Opry in the past and are going back again. We're getting some A1 choice talent here, and it's a good evening out that's not terribly expensive. Your tickets, even if you don't do full season, they're $40 or $50, kind of just depending on where you sit. And that's not a bad night out. And we're starting to serve beer and wine before the show, so it's a good time to come and see different things on campus. Come early, see the 2 art exhibits, and then come see some great music.
Well, Greg, we appreciate it. We invite you to attend and view, and if in fact you do that and would like to report to Sandra and Roger on Wednesday morning about your enjoyment and pass it on to our viewers, we would welcome that, because we don't know exactly who we're talking to, but we're talking to you right now.
Absolutely.
And we want you to report back. But with that, we will see you next week. Sandra over in the corner, but she and I will be back next Wednesday with another splendid show. Thanks to you guys. Have a great time.
Black Diamonds, Thursday, 5 to 7 is the opening.
All right, with that, take her away, guys.